If you were to look out over the water above a coral reef, you may only see a vast expanse of beautiful water. But dive beneath the surface and you will find one of the most complex communities on Earth. Humans live in communities made up of many people who work together to care for each other. Farmers grow our food, garbage truck drivers pick up our trash, doctors help keep us healthy. Coral reef communities also work together in symbiotic relationships to keep their community in balance. The various organisms that inhabit the reef work together in 5 different ways. Let's explore the reef while we learn about each type of relationship. Let's take a look at 2 living things on the reef: coral polyps and algae, that live together in a way where each one helps the other to survive in a mutually beneficial way. The coral provides the algae a safe place to live, along with providing carbon dioxide and nutrients. The algae feeds the coral with the sugars it produces and also provides it with oxygen. Both the coral and the algae are mutual winners in this kind of relationship, which is fittingly called mutualism. The next type of relationship found in coral reef communities is commensal, meaning coming together. A great example of commensalism is the living sea sponges that connect themselves to coral skeletons and, in turn, provide a hiding place for small shrimp and crabs. The sponge receives no benefit from the shrimp or crabs, but is also not harmed by them. However, not all reef life is calm and quiet, despite the beautiful appearance. Competition between living things is vital to maintain balance in the reef community, and not all living things can win. Competing for resources, such as space or food, is part of everyday life on the reef. An example of 2 animals that compete on the reef are the butterfly fish and the clownfish. These fish battle for access to the waving sea anemone, but for very different reasons. Butterfly fish eat the stinging tentacles or arms of sea anemones. However, clownfish live among the anemone's arms, relying on them for protection. When a hungry butterfly fish approaches, the clownfish must act as a guard and fight it off to defend its home. Now that's a competition. Take a moment to study this coral reef. It's beautiful and full of life, but it's also a place where organisms are hunted for food. A shrimp becomes prey as a squid eats it. A large fish comes along and devours the squid. That fish then becomes dinner for a hungry shark. This relationship is called predation. Does that word sound familiar to you? Maybe you've heard the more common term predator. There are many predators and prey among the coral reef, from animals that eat other animals to those that eat plants or algae. Not only do large sea creatures need to find a meal, but smaller creatures also seek out larger animals on which to feed. You may know that tiny fleas can live on a dog, feeding on the dog's blood. The fleas are parasites. Parasitism can also happen in the sea and is our final type of relationship. The smaller organisms can eat at the bodies or suck fluids from the larger creatures, often without them even noticing. Our coral reefs are home to millions of creatures, and whether these organisms have relationships that are friendly, helpful, or competitive, each living thing plays a vital role in the diverse coral reef community.